let's go over this again. Mister The Prequels presents The Prequels. Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. It's a great movie by any standard. Objectively, by any standard, it's a great movie. Now, subjectively, you might not like it, and maybe subjectively, I might love it, while according to the objective standards that you're using and that I'm using, the movie's good and or bad or terrible and beautiful at the same time. That's the kind of stuff George Lucas makes. If you're into it, you're into it. And if you're not into it. You either get Jar Jar and you love The Phantom Menace, or you don't get Jar Jar and maybe you do love The Phantom Menace. But whatever it is, your filter through which you are able to enjoy Star Wars is affected in some way by Jar Jar Binks. And Jar Jar Binks is the key to this whole thing. It's not hyperbole. If you can get this, Jar Jar Binks, if you can get it, this one thing, Jar Jar, he's the key to this whole thing. This is what George said. The creator said this. He's the key to this whole thing. Now, if you don't like it, then great. It's not for you. I happen to like it. I happen to love it. When I first saw Star Wars in 1977, I was 10 years old, and I saw Star Wars in 1977. I grew up in Southern California in the 70s. And man, I'll tell you, I loved it, and all my friends loved it. And all I wanted to do was be Han Solo. And I loved the droids. I thought the droids were hilarious. C-3PO and R2-D2. Darth Vader, scary AF. Back in those days, I didn't know that word, but whatever it was, he was an evil person. I knew this. Darth Vader was a robot or something. I didn't know. And then Luke Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Princess Leia. All of these characters, Greedo, all of these characters, Grand Moff Tarkin, we're introduced into this world of Star Wars. It is a period of civil war. And you have an evil empire and a band of rebels, rebel spies that have stolen the plans to this Death Star. And it's the same way the Phantom Menace starts out. Turmoil has engulfed the Galactic Republic. And this is because of dispute over trade routes for outlying star systems, so to speak. There's a lot of politics in all this stuff. Civil war, trade routes, taxation, unrest, turmoil, battle plans, spies. You see this throughout these movies. Attack of the Clones. There are heroes on both sides. Evil is everywhere. Lies, manipulation, Revenge of the Sith. There's hope at the end, but it's a roller coaster of a ride. Starting with Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. And this movie's a masterpiece. In what world, in what universe do you live where Star Wars Episode 1 is not an all-time epic masterpiece? Was it because Jar Jar said, "Excuse me"? Is that why? Or how about that You didn't like that Anakin said, "Yippee!" I don't know. Something about it you didn't like. Or maybe you didn't like that some of the stuff possibly looked kind of fake. And you didn't know it was fake. And you cried about it. Or you went on the internet and you made a lot of money with clicks telling jokes based on that George Lucas acts like a weirdo. Or that he is a weirdo. Which he is. Hey, it takes one to know one. And I'll leave it at that. But George Lucas is the creator of this universe, this world, this art, this book, this story. And he's given it to us. And if we can, if we will, we're able to enjoy it, share it, even make our own versions of it. But to simply say that because George had a different idea than I had, or wished he would have had, therefore he's a bad director? Come on. No. Friends, any way you cut it, any way you look at it, lights, camera, action, Star Wars Episode 1 is an all-time epic masterpiece. Written and directed by George Lucas. Producer Rick McCallum. Executive producer George Lucas. And while we're on the subject of all-time epic, Jake Lloyd deserves an Oscar for his portrayal of Anakin Skywalker in Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Written and directed by George Lucas. Producer Rick McCallum. Executive producer George Lucas. 10 out of 10, baby. And that's all the time we have for today, dear friends. Remember, your focus determines your reality. And may the Force be with us. That'll be the thumbnail.